Hi, this is Stephen Trails. I serve Team Fairness. The reason for this is because Team Fairness is about bringing about a world of fairness. It's about the World Fairness Agreement so that religions aren't fighting each other and governments are not fighting each other, so that the wars stop and the poverty stops and everybody cares about everybody. We're all one big happy family of humans, so to speak. So that's why I want money, is to make that happen. My website is such that I don't know how to change it, how to use it. I can't do anything with it. I can't edit all of it that I would like to edit. I don't have money to do anything about it. So there are people that are in the side that are opposed to me, that are it's spiritual, in my opinion. There's something that we can't see, therefore spiritual, that wants to have control of us. So people are ruled by what they are afraid of. So we're ruled by some unseen entity or group of entities that control us with fear. They benefit, and you benefit because you're not in trouble with them. I don't surrender to them, and I'm attacked by them daily. And that's okay, because they can't win. So that in itself is enough. That's victory for me, just because they can't win. Call it a false god, the devil, aliens, I don't know, whatever it is. It's that which wants to have power over me. It wants me to surrender to it. So this is what humans do. We naturally form alliances, groups that are ruled by people that have power. Typically they're narcissistic. And they are very much triggered by anyone around them that's not surrendered to them. So they're like the leader of the gang. An example is Donald Trump. In a strange way. So he has a system of defeating those that oppose him. And he's been quite successful. And now he's in bad health. He's getting very old. He's in trouble with the Epstein files and past issues that he has kept secret because they're unacceptable by our society. By the Bible, for instance. They're not acceptable within Christianity, within Islam. So why do these religions dictate to us how we should be ruled? Well, it's based on this notion that there's a God that has all power, that created us and therefore has all power over us, knows everything. That's not the only concept of God, by the way. So what I think has all power didn't have a mind in the first place. So I'm atheist. I don't see any evidence of the God that has all power and all knowledge and creates people in a very unfair way. All of us don't look the same. all of us are not as desirable as others. How is it that a God that cares about people would create us in an unfair way? Some people have handicaps. So this is what the philosophers call the problem of evil. And it's been called the Achilles heel of Christianity. It's this problem. It's why does God, if he's got all power and all knowledge, why does he create us in an unfair way? Well, when we look about what we've learned from biology, from evolution, we can see the DNA, the RNA. We're learning about epigenetics, so there's other things involved. We're learning how trauma that happens to the parent changes what the offspring's going to be. So we're just beginning at this. I forgot, I just read a quote by somebody, might have been Einstein. You could probably just Google it to find out who is this quote is attributed to. What we know is a drop. What we don't know is the ocean. That gives you the idea of what this is about. So, the people that are ruled by this tyrant, do what I say, surrender to me, or I send people against you. They're called flying monkeys these days, from the Wizard of Oz movie. So the Wicked Witch, she could spy on people, and so when they were doing something against her, that anybody that was talking about not being ruled by her, for example, anybody that was not afraid of her, her flying monkeys would fly out there and find out who they are and what they're doing, and then she would do whatever she needed to do to stop them. So that's where the flying monkeys of Narcissus comes from. So people surrender to whoever's got the most power, whoever is the biggest one. One of my good friends told me that. We were talking, and it's like back in the day when I was young, people talked about people who have sold out. They've sold out to the system. They're not making a stand for what? What was we about? It varied what we was about. Each person has their own opinion on what it's about. I've seen this phenomena with women recently. Where it started to ring. I've seen this phenomena with women where, see, I already know what it's going to be about. They're going to get worried because I'm going to empower the women to talk. And if the women talk, they're in trouble. We live in a rape culture where they're silencing the women. So there are males that put themselves like in the alpha male kind of category. So they own the girl. She is theirs. And so he will like let you know, do you want her? As if he's a pimp and she's a whore. So why does the woman participate in that? Because she's afraid to defy the boss of her, which is this male undefined ruling structure from the males. I'm not going to call them men. From the males. So their message is surrender to me as the leader of this group, I'm the boss over you, And then I can provide you with a girl. With sex pleasure. Humans are continually looking for sex pleasure. And food. And if you become addicted to alcohol for pleasure and relief of acquiring alcohol, we want to acquire our supply of what makes us feel better, joy, happiness, a sense of well-being. So the narcissistic people and the woman that surrendered to it, she doesn't want anybody rocking the boat. Even though somebody's trying to free her from bondage, there's going to be a problem, and she doesn't want there to be a problem, so she'll turn against the guy who's trying to free her. I don't know why I'm even making these videos. Nobody's listening to them. So I'm thinking about fairness is going to work on its own. And what's the problem? What is my problem? I'm asking myself, what is my problem? What's the problem? Well, the problem is me when I'm jumping through the hoops to acquire the supply of joy. So I'm listening to a tape from one of the Gitas, and it's arguing that run from any passion of the senses, like as if it was poison. Just totally avoid supplying the body's needs to become free. You know, this makes sense. This is like old spiritual writing from India. So, should I listen to that guy and practice his way? I can try and see what happens. So, see, I'm doing it my way. And it's like, why don't you do it your way too? I'm inviting you. I'm telling you, you can. I'm giving you permission. You can do what you want. And I can do what I want. Okay, so when you do something wrong to someone because you're doing what you want, you get the consequence of that. So I'm not worried about you doing what you want. I don't need to worry about it. I don't need to worry about you. I don't need to worry about anything. I want to be free of all my worries. So, like I've explained how I had to get past the fear of death, the fear of being killed. So we're arguing that we can do what we want. You know, in China, the people would meditate, and the communist government would not allow them to meditate because they were freeing themselves from control of the Chinese government that wants to be a tyrant over them. So our culture's like that. So with me, where I'm saying things like do what you want and I'm going to do what I want, that's a red flag for law enforcement, because they need me under control. They need me in compliance with the law of the land. I am in compliance. So is Trump in compliance with the law of the land, or is MAGA in compliance with the law of the land? So, see, this is like a gray area where we come from a group of people that talked about disobedience, social disobedience. We were disobedient to the King of England, and the black people have the idea of good trouble when they're doing something to fight against them being walked upon, and they get in trouble for it. That's defined as good trouble. So we can can really respect good trouble as humans. You don't have to be black. I get in good trouble too. So I'm protesting about this invisible slavery, the invisible slave master that is like the God of the Old Testament. The Gnostics were against him. They called him the laughing stock because he said, I'm the only God. And so his mom shows up. You're wrong, my son. The Father's above you. You're not the all-powerful God. Well, his mom was above him too. So a lot of this stuff is just arguing, what is the truth of all this? What is the truth of all this? Do we have a problem in the world? You could say, no, we don't. This is the strategy of Buddhism and a lot of spiritual teachings in general, that just let the world be and become completely unattached to it. Well, in the meantime, your family and your friends are being killed. So I don't go for that kind of thing. I've been attacked by Zen Master for speaking against it, for arguing we need to establish fairness. And I was accused of starting a war. I was told to declare war in a vision. I didn't start the war. It's like Billy Joel. We didn't start the fire. I'm just trying to put it out. The fire of tyranny. I want to put it completely out. So there are policemen that completely understand what I'm talking about, and they don't have a problem with what I'm doing. They know I'm helping them as people. I'm freeing them from some tyrant over them, just like everyone else. So we're ruled by law. And we talk about justice, the preamble. The first thing it talks about is establishing justice so that we have a more perfect union. Do we want a union? People argue that. The Civil War was about people that said, no, we don't want a union. We want to leave your union because we want to keep having slaves. And we want to believe that the white people are superior. There was books about it. They taught it in school in the South. My last video, I'm talking about not jumping through their hoops. To like the guy who's got the girl, you jump through his hoops so that he'll let the girl talk to you. Or maybe she does something for you if you surrender to him, because he's making her do it. What's up with that? Well, women have stronger emotions in some areas than men do that can be exploited. Like if you hold a woman's child hostage and threaten to harm her baby, she's prone to surrender to do whatever you want to do so you don't hurt her baby. Where a man has a different type of reaction. We're the ones that are supposed to protect the women from that. So when we see that, we're supposed to be able to stand against the tyrant that's not fair. See, if you don't base it on fairness, what you're basing it on? If fairness to everyone, justice for all, is not number one, you're on the wrong track. Jack, thanks for listening.